The moment you try to manifest, you have already failed. For the seeker is the only obstacle between himself and the treasure. Existence knows your needs far better than your ego ever will. Stop interfering with its flow and watch the magic happen. Desire is the language of a beggar. Be a king by wanting nothing, and suddenly the whole universe begins to follow you. You are not here to create a reality, but to allow the ultimate reality to blossom through you without the friction of your trying. Stop seeking and you shall find. The secret is not in the how to get, but in the how to be. For when you are, everything is. Hello, my beloved ones. I see you searching. I see you running. You are all looking for a way to make your dreams a reality, to bring something from the invisible into the visible. You call it manifestation. You want to manifest love. You want to manifest wealth. You want to manifest a better version of yourself. But have you noticed that the more you try, the more elusive it becomes? The harder you pull, the more the string seems to break. This is because your very trying is the barrier. I want to talk to you today about a very secret technique, a way to manifest anything you desire, not by effort, but by a certain state of being. We are going to dive deep into the ancient wisdom of the Vigilance Tantra, the book of secrets, and the alchemy of creativity. Before we go further into these mysteries, if you feel a resonance with what we are sharing, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications. It is a way for us to stay connected in this dance of consciousness. If this message touches your heart, leave a comment below. Even a single word of your own experience helps this light reach others who are still wandering in the dark. You see, the world is obsessed with why. Philosophy asks why. Why is there suffering? Why is there existence? But philosophy is just a mental gymnastic. It gives you words, but it does not give you the reality. Tantra is different. Tantra is a science. It does not ask why, it asks how. It is concerned with the technique, the method, the path. If you want to change your life, you don't need a new philosophy. You need a new technique of being. When you ask how to manifest, you are asking for a method to transform your inner world so that the outer world reflects it. The first thing to understand is that you are already manifesting your life, but you are doing it unconsciously. Your current reality, your frustrations, your joys, your limitations is a direct reflection of your current state of consciousness. If you are a chaotic mess inside, your life will be a chaotic mess outside. To manifest something new, you must become new. The secret is not in the doing, but in the being. In the Book of Secrets, it is said that Buddhas never die and the unenlightened never truly live. Why? Because the enlightened person has found their inner flame. Once you have that light, everything else follows. You don't have to go looking for the shadows. They disappear when the light is lit. Manifestation is exactly like that. You don't go chasing things. You become a source of light, and things start happening as a consequence. But the mind is very tricky. It wants to turn even meditation into a to-do list. It wants to make manifestation a job. You follow 5 steps to wealth or 10 steps to love, and you are just as tense as a businessman in a boardroom. That tension is the very thing that stops the manifestation. In my book on creativity, I emphasize relax in action. This is the core of the mystery. Can you act while remaining absolutely relaxed? Can you move toward your goal without the fever of the ego? If you are enjoying this exploration, please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm understand that this content is valuable, allowing us to share these teachings with more seekers around the globe. Your support is what keeps this flame burning. Now look at the child. A child is the most creative being on earth. Why? Because the child does not have a self-consciousness. When a child is playing with sand, he is not thinking, I am a great artist building a castle. He is the castle. There is no separation between the creator and the creation. This is the first key to manifesting anything. You must disappear. As long as you are there, the ego is there. And the ego is a very small, limited thing. It is like a tiny cup trying to hold the entire ocean. But when you disappear, when you are in a state of no mind, the entire existence starts working through you. That is when miracles happen. People often ask me about money. They think spirituality and money are enemies. This is a great misunderstanding. Money is just a form of energy. If you are creative, if you are relaxed, if you are in harmony with nature, why should you be poor? Poverty is not spiritual. It is a sickness of the soul. But the art of money requires you to not be a slave to it. If you chase money with greed, you are in a state of lack. And when you are in a state of lack, you manifest more lack. This is the law of the universe. If you act from a place of abundance, even if you have nothing in your pockets right now, you start attracting abundance. I want you to take a deep breath right now. Just feel the air going in and coming out. Between the inhalation and the exhalation, there is a tiny microscopic pause. In that pause, you are neither breathing in nor breathing out. In that pause, you simply are. That is the center. That is the place where manifestation begins. If you can learn to touch that center throughout your day, you will see that your outer world begins to shift in ways you never thought possible. We are going to go much deeper into the specific technique of the breath and the obstacles that are currently blocking your power. This journey is just beginning. If you feel called to support this work more deeply, you can look for the join button on our page to become a member of our community. Your contribution through the join feature or by using super thanks allows us to continue producing these deep dives into the science of the soul. It is a beautiful way to share the abundance you are beginning to feel. Remember, manifestation is not about pulling something toward you. It is about becoming so beautiful, so silent, so centered that the universe cannot help but shower you with its gifts. It is a dance, not a struggle. It is a song, not a scream. Let us move into the first major obstacle that is preventing your dreams from taking shape. You might think it is lack of resources or lack of luck, but the obstacle is much closer than that. It is your own self-consciousness. The moment you become aware of yourself as a separate entity trying to achieve something, you have divided your energy. You have created a doer. And that doer is always afraid of failure. And fear is the greatest poison for manifestation. Think about it. When you are trying to impress someone, you become clumsy. When you are trying too hard to fall asleep, you stay awake. The trying is the tension. To manifest without trying, you must learn the art of being a non-doer, even while you are doing everything. This sounds like a paradox, but existence is made of paradoxes. You must be active on the outside, but inside you must be a silent pool of water, unruffled by any wind. If you find value in these words, sharing this video with a friend who is struggling might be the greatest gift you can give them today. Let's spread this fragrance of freedom together. In the next part of our talk, we will discuss how perfectionism and the intellect are actually acting as walls between you and your desires. We will see how to break those walls down so that the energy of the universe can flow into your life like a torrential rain. Stay with me, stay centered, and let the words sink into your heart, not just your head. Your head is a very small place. Your heart is as vast as the sky. The intellect is a very small room, a dark cell where you have lived for centuries. It is useful for counting money. It is useful for mathematics. It is useful for logic. But it is absolutely useless for life. Life is a much larger phenomenon. When you try to manifest your reality through the intellect, you are trying to fit the ocean into a small spoon. It is not possible. The intellect always wants to know the why, but manifestation is a how. The second great obstacle on your path is perfectionism. This is a very subtle disease. You want to be perfect. You want your manifestation to be perfect. You want your life to be a flawless diamond. But have you ever seen a diamond? It is beautiful because of its flaws, because of the way it reflects light through its unique edges. Nature is not perfect. Nature is whole. There is a great difference. Perfection is a dead concept of the mind. Wholeness is a living reality of the soul. When you try to be perfect, you become tense. You become a critic, a judge. You start watching yourself from the outside, and the moment you become a spectator of your own life, you are no longer the creator. A creator must be able to make mistakes. A creator must be able to be a mess. If you are afraid of making a mistake, you will never create anything new. You will only repeat the old, the safe, the tried and tested. But manifestation is about bringing the new into existence. It requires a certain courage to be imperfect, to be wrong in the eyes of the world. The ego is the one that wants to be perfect because the ego lives on the appreciation of others. The soul does not care about perfection. It only cares about expression. To manifest without trying, you must drop the idea of being a perfect person and simply be a real person. Realness has a beauty that perfection can never touch. And then comes the intellect, the third obstacle. The intellect is always doubting. It is always asking for proof. It says, how can I manifest wealth if I don't have a job? How can I find love if I am alone? The intellect is a prisoner of the past. It only knows what has already happened. It cannot conceive of the impossible. But manifestation is the art of making the impossible possible. It is the art of the leap. Tantra says, don't listen to the intellect. The intellect is a servant, not the master. Let it help you with the logistics, but do not let it decide the direction of your life. The direction must come from your center, from that silent space I mentioned earlier. When you are centered, you don't need logic, you have vision. Vision is not something you think about, it is something you see. When a poet writes a poem, he does not think it out, he waits. He remains in a state of expectant silence, and then suddenly the words begin to flow. He is not the doer, he is the medium. If you want to manifest anything, whether it is a business, a relationship, or a state of health, you must become a medium. You must say to existence, I am here, I am empty, use me. This emptiness is the secret. If you are full of your own ideas, full of your own plans and calculations, there is no room for the universe to enter. You are like a house where every room is filled with junk. Even if a king wants to visit, there is nowhere for him to sit. Clear the junk, clear the thoughts, clear the how-to manuals, just be. The fourth obstacle is belief. People think that to manifest, they must believe very strongly. They use affirmations. They repeat, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, like a mantra. But deep down, they know they are lying. And that hidden knowledge, that inner know, is much more powerful than the outer yes. Your belief is just a cover-up for your doubt. If you truly knew something, you wouldn't need to believe it. Do you believe in the sun? No, you see it. Belief is only for things you don't know. Tantra is not about belief, it is about experience. Don't believe that you can manifest. Instead, experiment with your consciousness. Find that point of centering where the world disappears. In the Vigilance Bhairav Tantra, Shiva gives 112 techniques. One of the most beautiful is the focus on the turning point of the breath. When you breathe in, there is a moment just for a split second where the breath stops before it turns to go out. And when you breathe out, there is a moment where the breath stops before it turns to go in. Shiva says in these 2 points, the realization. Why? Because in those points you are in the gap. You are in the interval. The mind cannot adjust in the interval. The mind is like a pendulum. It moves from the past to the future, from the in-breath to the out-breath. It needs movement to survive. In the gap, there is no movement. In the gap, there is only pure being. If you can catch that gap even once a day, you have found the master key. From that gap, whatever you feel becomes reality. Not what you think, but what you vibrate. In the gap, you are one with the source. And the source is infinite. The source does not know poverty, it does not know loneliness, it only knows overflowing. The final obstacle is what I call the fame game. You want to manifest things so that others will see how successful you are. You want the big car, the big house, the beautiful partner, not for your own joy, but for the image it creates in the eyes of others. This is a trap. If your manifestation is for others, it will never bring you peace. It will only bring you more anxiety, because now you have to protect that image. True creativity, true manifestation is a private affair. It is between you and existence. It is like a flower blooming in the middle of a forest where no one ever goes. It doesn't care if anyone sees it. Its joy is in the blooming itself. Its fragrance is its own reward. When your desire for manifestation comes from this kind of innocence, not to prove anything, not to be famous, but just to enjoy the play of existence, then you are truly powerful. Then even the stars will dance to your tune. I want you to stop for a moment. Look at your life. How much of what you are doing is just a carbon copy of what society told you to do? How much of your manifestation list is actually yours? If it is not yours, it will not happen. Existence only supports that which is authentic. You cannot fool the universe. You can fool your neighbors. You can fool your boss. You can even fool yourself. But you cannot fool the totality. The totality only responds to the real. So the first step is to be authentic. If you want money, say, I want money, with total honesty. Don't hide it behind spiritual words. If you want love, be honest about your longing. This honesty creates a bridge between you and the source. The moment you are honest, you are centered. The moment you are honest, you are no longer divided. And a person who is not divided is a force of nature. Think of a river. The river doesn't try to reach the ocean. It doesn't have a map. It doesn't have a GPS. It just flows. When there is a rock, it goes around it. When there is a mountain, it finds a way. It is relaxed in action. It is in harmony with the terrain. This is how you must be. You have a direction, yes. The ocean is the direction. But there is no fever. There is no stress. You trust that the same gravity that pulls the water will take you to your destination. Most of you are trying to push the river. You are exhausted because you think you are the one doing everything. You are not. You are just a small wave on the surface of a vast ocean. Let the ocean carry you. This letting go is the most secret part of the technique. It is called tathata, suchness. It means accepting things as they are, and in that acceptance, finding the power to transform them. If you are sick, accept it. Don't fight it. In the fighting, you lose energy. In the acceptance, you save energy. And that saved energy is exactly what is needed for healing. This is the alchemy of manifestation. You accept the seed as it is, and then you give it the soil of your silence. The seed will sprout by itself. You don't have to pull the plant out of the ground to make it grow faster. You will only kill it. You wait. You have patience. Patience is not waiting for time to pass. Patience is a state of timelessness. It is the feeling that even if it never happens, I am already blissful. This is the ultimate paradox. The moment you don't need the manifestation to be happy, it manifests. As long as your happiness depends on the outcome, you are a beggar. And a beggar cannot manifest. A beggar can only beg. A king manifests. And a king is one who is already content within himself. Become a king of your inner world. Find that treasure that cannot be taken away. And then, as a consequence, the outer world will begin to arrange itself around your royalty. This is not a promise, it is a law. It is as certain as the rising of the sun. When you are centered, your whole perspective on what is important changes. The ego is always interested in the extraordinary. It wants to manifest a kingdom, $1,000,000, a famous name. It thinks that the ordinary is not enough. But I tell you, to find the extraordinary in the ordinary is the true mark of a creative soul. If you cannot find nirvana while drinking a cup of tea, you will not find it by manifesting a golden palace. The palace will just be a larger version of your boredom. Look at how you live. You are always waiting for the big moment. You think, when I manifest that house, then I will be happy. When I find that perfect partner, then I will be at peace. You are putting your life on hold. This is the greatest mistake. Life is not in the future. Life is this very moment, this very breath. If you can bring your total consciousness to the small ordinary things, to cleaning the floor, to cooking a meal, to walking in the park, you are already in a state of manifestation. You are manifesting a high quality of being. And when the quality of your being is high, the universe begins to provide the quantity of things. In the world of tantra, there is a beautiful technique regarding the third eye, the point between the two eyebrows. Shiva says, close your eyes and feel the space between the eyebrows as if it is a door. When you focus on this point, you are moving away from the two eyes of the world, the two eyes of duality, good and bad, success and failure, rich and poor. You are moving to the single eye, the eye of oneness. When you look through the two eyes, you see a divided world. You see things you want and things you want to avoid. You are constantly in a state of choice, and choice is the function of the ego. But when you center yourself at the third eye, choice disappears. You see the totality. And in that vision, you realize that you don't need to pull anything toward you because you are already part of it. The all is already yours. This is the shift from a beggar to a master. A master knows that whatever is needed will be provided by the whole, just as the tree is provided with water and the bird is provided with his sky. But to reach this state, you must be ready to learn. Most of you are full of knowledge. You have read books, you have watched videos, you have heard many gurus. Your heads are heavy with information. But knowledge is not wisdom. Knowledge is always of the past. Wisdom is of the present. To be ready to learn means to be empty, to be ignorant in the most beautiful sense. A child is ignorant, and that is why a child is so creative. He doesn't know what is possible or impossible. He just tries. He plays. If you want to manifest a new reality, you must drop your knowing. Your knowing has brought you to this point, and if you are not happy here, then your knowing is a failure. Why cling to a failed system? Drop it. Stand before existence as if you know nothing. In that state of not knowing, you become a dreamer. And when I say a dreamer, I don't mean a person who lives in a fantasy world. I mean a person who is capable of imagining the new. A person who is not limited by the facts of the past. The mind is made of memory, and memory is always a dead thing. If you manifest from memory, you are just repeating yourself. You are making a better version of the old. But if you manifest from the no mind, from the silence, you are bringing something fresh into the world. You are participating in the creativity of God, and that is the only way to be truly fulfilled. People ask me also, if I don't try, how will things happen? I ask you, look at your body. Are you trying to digest your food? Are you trying to grow your hair? Are you trying to make your heart beat? No. The most essential functions of your life are happening without your efforts. They are being done by the intelligence of the whole. Your ego is only involved in the superficial things. What car you drive, what people think of you. If the universe can manage the immense complexity of your heartbeat and your breathing, don't you think it can manage your manifest desires? The problem is that you don't trust the universe. You trust your small mind more than you trust the vast existence. This lack of trust is what creates the trying. When you trust, you relax. When you relax, you become a magnet. Think of a magnet. A magnet does not run after the iron filings. It does not go on a journey to find them. It just sits there being a magnet. And because it is a magnet, the iron filings are drawn to it. Your task is not to find the things you want. Your task is to become the magnet. And your magnetic power is your level of consciousness. The more conscious you are, the more pull you have. The more silent you are, the more the universe hears your heart's longing. This secret technique is not about a ritual or a specific mantra. It is about a radical change in your inner climate. You move from the heat of desire to the coolness of awareness. Desire is like a fire. It burns you and the object of your desire. Awareness is like the moonlight. It is cool, it is calm, it is nourishing. In that coolness, things grow. In that coolness, the seeds of your manifestation sprout. So, for the next few days, I want you to practice this. Whatever you are doing, do it with such totality that the doer is not there. If you are walking, be the walking. If you are eating, be the eating. Don't think about what comes next. Don't think about the results. Just be in the act. This is what I call meditation in action. It is the highest form of creativity. When you are in this stage, you will notice something strange. Small coincidences will start happening. You think of a friend and the phone rings. You need a certain piece of information and you happen to open a book to the exact page. These are not accidents. These are signs that you are falling in tune with the rhythm of the universe. You are no longer swimming against the current. You are being carried by it. And this is the beauty of it. When you are carried by the universe, you are never tired. You can work 18 hours a day and still be as fresh as a rose. Why? Because you are not using your own energy. You are a channel for the universal energy. The ego gets tired because it is a small battery. The soul is connected to the infinite power source. Most people are living on their small batteries, and that is why they are so stressed and anxious. They are trying to manifest their life using only their own limited strength. It is like trying to move a mountain with a spoon. Of course, you are exhausted. Of course, you are frustrated. I am telling you to drop the spoon and let the mountain be moved by the earthquake of your consciousness. In the Book of Secrets, Shiva gives a technique for when you are in the middle of a desire. He says, when a desire comes, don't say yes and don't say no. Just look at the desire. Usually we do one of two things. We either jump into the desire and try to fulfill it, or we try to repress it because we think it is unspiritual. Both are mistakes. If you jump into it, you become the desire. If you repress it, you create a conflict. Tantra says, just watch it. Look at the desire as if it is a cloud passing in the sky. It is there, you can see it, but you are not it. You are the sky. When you watch a desire without judgment, without trying to get rid of it and without trying to satisfy it, the energy of that desire returns to your center. It becomes a fuel for your consciousness. And when your consciousness is fueled by the energy of your desires, it becomes so bright that it lights up your entire path. This is the alchemy. You are not killing your desires. You are transforming them into light. And a person who is full of light manifests naturally. He does not have to ask for anything. Things are given even before the thought arises. I want you to feel this right now. Feel the silence of this room. Feel the space around your body. You are not just this physical form. You are a vast field of energy. This field is your aura, your magnetic field. When you are angry, this field shrinks. When you are afraid, it becomes jagged. When you are in love, it expands. When you are in a state of meditation, it becomes infinite. To manifest anything, you must have an infinite field. You must be able to hold the whole world in your embrace. If your field is small and cramped, how can the abundance of the universe enter it? Expand yourself. Let go of the small identities. I am this, I am that. Just be. In that just being, you are the whole, and the whole is always manifesting, always creating, always celebrating. This expansion of your being is not something you do, it is something you allow. In the Vigilance Bhairav Tantra, the Devi asks Shiva, what constitutes seed? This is a very profound question for anyone interested in manifestation. What is the seed of a reality? If you want to grow a tree, you need a seed. If you want to manifest a life of abundance, you need a seed. But the seed is not a thought. The seed is not a desire. The seed is a specific quality of energy that you plant in the fertile soil of your emptiness. Most people try to plant seeds in a mind that is full of weeds, weeds of doubt, weeds of past failures, weeds of social conditioning. How can a seed grow there? The soil is exhausted. You must first clear the land. This clearing of the land is what I call meditation. When you sit in silence, when you watch your thoughts without becoming them, you are pulling out the weeds. You are making the soil rich again. And what is the seed? The seed is your intent when it is stripped of ego. There is a great difference between willpower and intent. Willpower is of the ego. It is a fight. Intent is of the soul. It is a silent vibration. When you have a deep intent, you don't need to shout it. You don't need to repeat it like a parrot. You just hold it in your heart, in that center, and then you forget about it. This forgetting is the most difficult part for the modern mind. You are so impatient. You plant a seed, and the next morning you dig it up to see if it has started growing. By digging it up, you kill it. The secret technique involves planting the seed and then letting it be. You trust the earth, you trust the sun, you trust the rain. This trust is what I call acting in harmony with nature. In my book on creativity, I speak about this harmony. Nature is never in a hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Have you ever seen a tree having a nervous breakdown because it isn't growing fast enough? Have you ever seen a river contemplating suicide because it hasn't reached the ocean yet? Only man is in this fever. And this fever is the very thing that prevents your manifestation from taking root. To manifest anything, you must learn the art of indifference toward the result. This sounds like a contradiction. You want something, yet I tell you to be indifferent to whether you get it or not. But this is the only way. When you are indifferent to the results, your energy is fully available for the now. And it is only in the now that the seed can sprout. The future is a desert. Nothing grows there. The past is a graveyard. Everything there is already dead. The present is the only fertile ground. Let's talk about the art of money again. For this is where most people's trying is at its peak. You want money because you feel insecure. You think money will give you a foundation. But a foundation built on money is a foundation built on sand. True security comes from your ability to flow with life, to be creative in any situation. If you are a creator, you can be dropped in the middle of a desert and you will create a garden. That is true wealth. If you are chasing money, you are essentially saying to the universe, I am poor. And the universe, being a mirror, says, yes, you are poor. To manifest money, you must start living as if you are already the richest person in the world. And I don't mean you should go out and spend money you don't have. I mean you should have a richness of spirit. Look at the sunset. Can a billionaire own it? No, it is yours. Look at the stars. Can they be bought? No, they are yours. When you start feeling the abundance that is already here, free of charge, you change your vibration. You move from the frequency of lack to the frequency of overflow. And then the paper money, the physical wealth, starts to follow. It follows as a shadow. You don't chase the shadow, you walk toward the light, and the shadow follows you. This is the meaning of relax in action. You do what is necessary. If you are a businessman, you do your business. If you are an artist, you paint. But you do it with a relaxed heart. You don't carry the burden of the result on your shoulders. You give your 100% to the act and you leave the rest to the whole. This is what the Bhagavad Gita calls Nishkam Karma, desireless action. It is the highest secret of manifestation. In the book of secrets, there is a technique that involves the heart center. Shiva says, feel your consciousness as a light radiating from the center of your chest. When you move from the head to the heart, your manifestation power increases 1,000-fold. The head is a calculator. The heart is a creator. The head is cold. The heart is warm. And life only grows in warmth. Try this when you want to manifest something. Don't think about it in your head. Feel it in your heart. Don't see a picture of it. Feel the fragrance of it. If you want a house, feel the peace you would feel sitting in that house. If you want love, feel the warmth in your chest, as if that love is already there. The universe does not respond to your thoughts, it responds to your feeling state. Your feeling is the language of existence. And remember, you are not a maker. This is a big ego trip. People say, I am a self-made man. What nonsense! Did you make the air you breathe? Did you make the sun? Did you make the ancestors who gave you this body? You are not a maker. You are a medium. The word poetry comes from a root that means to make. But the true poet knows he doesn't make the poem. He allows the poem to happen. He is a flute. The song comes through him. But the breath is of the divine. If you want to be a master of manifestation, become a perfect flute. Remove the blocks from your hollow bamboo. The blocks are your ego, your prejudices, your certainties. When you are a hollow bamboo, the universe plays its song through you. And that song will manifest as wealth, as health, as love, as whatever is needed for your flowering. I see so many people who are postpartum after a success. They manifest something and then they feel empty. This is because they did it with the ego. The ego is never satisfied. Once it gets what it wanted, it immediately starts looking for the next thing. It is a hungry ghost. But when you manifest through silence, through the secret technique of centering, the manifestation itself is a joy, and the result is a bonus. You are not dependent on it. You are like a king who plays with toys. If the toys are there, good. If they are taken away, the king remains a king. This is the ancient wisdom I want to share with you. It is not found in the marketplaces. It is not found in the schools of positive thinking, which are just another way of decorating your prison cell. This wisdom is about breaking the walls of the cell altogether. It is about realizing that you are the architect of your reality, but you can only design a beautiful reality when you are no longer a prisoner of your own desires. When you are free from the fever of wanting, you are finally in a position to receive. Receiving is an art. Most of you don't know how to receive. Even when the universe wants to give you a gift, you are so busy doing and trying that you don't notice the door is open. You are like a person who is knocking frantically on a door that is already unlocked. But you are knocking so loudly that you can't hear the person inside saying, "Come in." Be silent. Listen. The universe is always whispering to you. It is always showing you the next step, but that whisper can only be heard in the gap between your thoughts. This is why I insist on the breath. The breath is the bridge between the body and the soul, between the known and the unknown. In the Book of Secrets, one technique says, "While being caressed, sweet princess, enter the caress as everlasting life." This is not just about physical touch. It is about your relationship with existence. Can you enter the caress of life? Can you feel the wind as a caress? Can you feel the sunlight as a caress? When you are in a state of being caressed by existence, you are in the most receptive state possible. In that state, you are a yes. And when you are a yes to existence, existence becomes a yes to you. This is the ultimate manifestation. It is not about getting things. It is about a total marriage with life. And in this marriage, everything is shared. The richness of existence becomes your richness. The silence of the stars becomes your silence. The joy of the flowers becomes your joy. You are no longer a separate, struggling ego. You are the whole. And the whole is always manifesting its own glory. This glory is not a destination you reach, it is the very ground you walk upon. But you are looking at the sky, dreaming of distant stars, and you trip over the treasures at your feet. This is the irony of the human condition. You want to manifest anything, yet you are not even aware of everything that is already being showered upon you. To manifest according to the ancient wisdom of Tantra, you must move from the periphery of your life to the center. Imagine a wheel, the universal wheel that Shiva mentions. The wheel is spinning at a tremendous speed. On the edge, on the rim, there is a lot of movement, a lot of noise, a lot of friction. If you are standing on the rim, you will feel dizzy. You will feel the pressure. You will feel the constant change. But at the very center of that wheel, there is a point that does not move at all. It is the unmoving center that makes the movement possible. You are living on the rim. Your mind is the rim. It is always spinning, planning, worrying, desiring, remembering, and because you are on the rim, you feel the stress of life. You feel that you have to do something to keep the wheel turning. But the secret technique is to jump from the rim to the center. At the center, you are just a witness. You see the wheel spinning, but you are not spinning with it. In that stillness, you are in touch with the source of all manifestation. When you are at the center, you are in the state of who centers the universal wheel, as the Devi asks. You realize that you are the one, not the you that has a name, a bank account, and a social security number, but the you that is pure consciousness. From this unmoving center, manifestation is effortless. It is like a commander who sits in a quiet room and moves an entire army with just a small gesture. He doesn't have to run onto the battlefield and fight every soldier himself. His power is in his stillness, in his perspective. Most of you are exhausted soldiers trying to fight the entire world. You are trying to manifest wealth by working harder, trying to manifest love by being more attractive, trying to manifest peace by reading more books. This is the way of the rim. It is the way of the ego. The way of the center is the way of the soul. At the center, you don't fight, you command. And your command is not a loud shout, it is a silent ripple in the ocean of existence. To reach this center, Shiva gives us the technique of looking into the void. He says, look at your room, look at the walls, look at the furniture. Then stop looking at the objects and look at the space between the objects. This is a radical shift in perception. Usually we only see things. We see the chair, the table, the person. We don't see the emptiness that allows the chair and the table to exist. But that emptiness is the mother of all things. Manifestation is the art of bringing something out of that emptiness. If your mind is full of objects, full of thoughts, there is no space for anything new to appear. You are like a canvas that is already covered in dark, messy scribbles. No matter how much beautiful paint you try to add, it just becomes more of a mess. You must first find the white space. You must find the void within yourself. Sit quietly and look at the nothingness in your room. Feel the nothingness inside your own body. If you close your eyes and look for yourself, where are you? You will find thoughts, you will find feelings, you will find sensations. But these are all objects, they are not you. If you keep looking, you will eventually find a vast emptiness, a silence that has no boundaries. That is your center. That is the void from which the entire universe was born. When you manifest from this void, there is no resistance. The mind creates resistance. The mind says, "But I don't have enough money," or "I am not good enough," or "It's too late." The void says nothing. It just accepts. It is like the sky. You can fly a plane through it. You can have a storm in it. You can have 1,000 birds in it, but the sky remains untouched. It simply provides the space for everything to happen. Become like the sky. When a desire for manifestation arises, don't hold it in your mind where the ego will judge it. Drop it into the sky of your emptiness. Let it float there. Don't worry about how it will happen. The sky doesn't worry about how the clouds move. The wind takes care of that. Your only job is to provide the space and the intent. This intent is the seed that Devi asks about. A seed is a very mysterious thing. It is so small, yet it contains the blueprint for a giant tree. It has the map of every leaf, every branch, every fruit. But for that seed to become a tree, it must die. It must break its hard shell and disappear into the earth. If the seed is afraid of disappearing, it will never become a tree. It will just remain a hard, dead thing in a jar. Your ego is that hard shell. Your desires are the seeds. If you hold on to your desires with your ego, saying, I want this, it must happen my way, I am the one doing it, the cell remains harsh. You are protecting the seed, but you are also preventing its growth. To manifest, you must be willing to let the seed die into the darkness of the unknown. You must be willing to say, I have this vision and now I give it to existence. I am no longer the owner of it. This is why letting go is the most secret part of the manifestation process. It is the moment when the seed is planted. Once it is in the earth, you don't see it anymore. You have to trust that the earth is doing its work. If you are constantly checking, constantly worrying, you are not letting the seed die. You are keeping it in the light where it cannot grow. In the Book of Secrets, Shiva talks about the middle point. He says, between two thoughts, between two breaths, there is the center. This is the point of total manifestation power. Why? Because in that middle point, you are not a person. You are just a pulse of existence. You are at the source code of reality. Think of a computer program. If you want to change what is appearing on the screen, you don't try to paint over the screen. You go into the code. You change the zeros and the ones. The gap between your thoughts is the place where you can change the code of your life. When you are in that gap, even a tiny flicker of intent has the power of 1,000 suns. The problem is that your gaps are very small, because your thoughts are like a crowded traffic jam. One thought is bumper to bumper with the next. There is no space for the light to get through. Meditation is the practice of creating distancing. You watch the thoughts, and as you watch, they slow down. The traffic begins to clear. The gaps become wider. Suddenly you find a second of pure silence. Then 2 seconds. Then a minute. In that minute of silence, you are more powerful than any king on earth. You are in the Holy of Holies. Whatever vibration you hold in that silence becomes the blueprint for your outer reality. This is the ancient wisdom that the masters have used for millennia. They didn't work for their manifestation, they vibrated it. They became the frequency of what they desired. If you want love, you must find the frequency of love within your own silence. You don't look for someone to love you, you become the very radiation of love. And when you are radiating love, the universe has to provide objects for that love to fall upon. It is a law of physics, a law of consciousness. If you are radiating abundance, the universe has to provide the material reflection of that abundance. But you are doing the opposite. You are radiating need. You are radiating want. And want is a frequency of lack. If you say, I want money, your vibration is, I don't have money. And the universe responds to the vibration, not the words. It says, yes, you don't have money. You are manifesting your lack perfectly. You are already a master of manifestation. You are just manifesting the things you don't want because you are operating from the ego's frequency of not having. To change this, you must use the as-if technique. In Tantra, this is very important. Act as if you have already reached the goal. But this acting must not be a mental effort. It must be a deep, heartfelt relaxation. It is not about pretending. It is about being. If you were already perfectly successful, how would you breathe? How would you walk? How would your heart beat? You would be relaxed. You would be at ease. You would have no fever. So start by manifesting the ease. Start by manifesting the relaxation. This is the foundation. Without this, even if you manifest $1 million, you will still be a poor man with $1 million. You will still have the vibration of lack, and you will spend your life protecting your money because you are afraid of losing it. That is not manifestation. That is a burden. True manifestation is creativity. And creativity is a state of overflowing. In my book on creativity, I talk about the 3 C's: consciousness, compassion, and creativity. These are 3 dimensions of the same flame. If you are conscious, you become compassionate. If you are compassionate, you cannot help but be creative. You want to share your joy with the world. You want to dance, you want to sing, you want to build, you want to heal. When your manifestation comes from this desire to overflow, the entire universe conspires to help you. It is like the sun. The sun doesn't shine because it wants to get something from the earth. It shines because it is full of energy and it has to give. It is its nature. When your manifestation is your nature, it is unstoppable. Look at the difference between a job and work. A job is something you do to get something else, usually money. It is a means to an end. It is full of effort and tension. Work in the spiritual sense is something you do because you love it, It is an end in itself. When you are working with love, you are in a state of prayer. You are relaxed in action. And when you are in a state of prayer, you are at your most magnetic. I see so many of you trying to manifest a life where you don't have to work. You think manifestation means getting something for nothing. But that is the ego's dream of being a parasite. Existence doesn't support parasites. Existence supports creators. To manifest anything, you must be willing to be a creator of everything. You must be willing to participate in the dance. If you want a beautiful garden, you don't just sit and visualize it. You dig the soil, you plant the seeds, you water the plants. But the secret is, you do it with a song in your heart. You don't do it as drudgery. You do it as play. This shift from work to play is the secret of the masters. To a Buddha, the whole of life is Leela, a divine play. When you play, you are not worried about winning or losing. You are just enjoying the movement. And because you are enjoying the movement, your energy is at its peak. You are in the flow. This is what modern psychology calls the state of flow. But Tantra has known it for thousands of years. It is the state where the doer disappears and only the doing remains. In this state of play, you are in harmony with nature. Nature is always playing. The ocean is playing with the waves. The wind is playing with the trees. The stars are playing with light. When you play, you are in tune with the whole. And the whole is infinitely wealthy. I want you to bring this quality of play into your manifestation process. Don't be so serious. Your seriousness is a sign of your ego. It is a sign that you think it all depends on you. It doesn't. You are just a small partner in a very large firm. The senior partner is the universe. Let the senior partner handle the big stuff. You just enjoy your part of the dance. When you are light-hearted, your seed has a better chance of growing. Seriousness is like heavy, compacted soil. The seed cannot breathe. Lightness is like loose, aerated soil. The seed can easily sprout and reach for the sun. This is the secret technique. Be light, be silent, be centered, and then whatever you need will come to you, just as the breath comes to you. You don't have to go and find the air. The air is already here, waiting for you to breathe it. let us explore the relationship between time and manifestation. The ego is obsessed with time. It wants things now. It says, I have been meditating for a week. Where is my manifestation? This impatience is the death of creativity. Creativity needs its own time. You cannot rush a rose. You cannot rush a pregnancy. You cannot rush the ripening of a fruit. Tantra says, enter space and time, but stay above them. This means you move in time, you act in time, but inside you are in the timeless. In the timeless, there is no waiting. In the timeless, you have already arrived. If you can feel that you have already arrived, then time becomes irrelevant. And when time is irrelevant, manifestation happens very quickly. It is the waiting that creates the delay. The waiting is a vibration of not yet. And as long as you are in not yet, the universe keeps giving you not yet. Stop waiting. Start living. Start being the person you want to be right now in this silence. If that person is happy, be happy now. If that person is peaceful, be peaceful now. Don't wait for the circumstances to change. You are the one who changes the circumstances by changing your now. This is the ancient wisdom of the Book of Secrets. It is a book of now. It is not a book of tomorrow. Every one of the 112 techniques is designed to bring you into the present moment, because the present moment is the only place where the divine exists, and the divine is the source of all manifestation. If you can master the now, you have mastered the world. Not because you control the world, but because you are no longer separate from it. You and the world are one movement. Your heartbeat and the pulse of the universe are the same. In that oneness, whatever you desire is what the universe desires. Your will and the divine will are no longer in conflict. This is the ultimate manifestation without trying. You don't try because there is no one left to try. There is only the flowering. This mirror of the mind is currently covered in dust. The dust of memories, the dust of desires, the dust of how-to manuals you have collected from the marketplace. When a mirror is covered in dust, it cannot reflect the sun. It cannot reflect the beauty of the flowers. It can only show you its own dirt. And this is how you are living. You are looking at the world through the dust of your own mind. And then you wonder why the world looks so dark, so difficult, so unyielding. To manifest anything, you must first clean the mirror. And how do you clean a mirror? You don't do anything to the light. You only remove that which is not the mirror. This is the essence of the secret technique. You don't have to create your reality. Your reality is already there, waiting to be reflected. You only have to remove the layers of trying and ego that are obscuring it. In the Book of Secrets, Shiva gives a very powerful method involving the mirror. He says, look into a mirror, and as you see your reflection, look into the one who is looking. This is a double-edged sword. Usually when you look into a mirror, you are interested in the reflection. You check your hair, you check your face, you check your image. You are focused on the object. Shiva says, use the object to find the subject. As you look at your eyes in the mirror, try to feel the one who is looking through those eyes. Move your attention from the glass back to your own center. In that moment, a circle of consciousness is formed. The energy that was going out to the reflection suddenly turns back to the source. And in that turning back, the dust starts to fall away. You realize that you are not the image in the mirror, and you are not even the body standing in front of it. You are the pure witnessing energy that makes the whole experience possible. When you reach this state of the pure mirror, manifestation becomes a very different phenomenon. A clear mirror reflects whatever is put in front of it, instantly and without effort. If a rose comes before the mirror reflects a rose. It doesn't say, I am too tired today, or I don't like roses, or how can I reflect this rose? It just reflects. This is the state of a Buddha. A Buddha is a clear mirror. Whatever the universe brings, he reflects it with total perfection. Most of you are like broken mirrors. You reflect in fragments. You want wealth, but a part of you feels guilty about it. You want love, but a part of you is afraid of being hurt. You are divided, and because you are divided, your reflection is distorted. You are trying to manifest a whole life with a broken instrument. It is not possible. You must first become one. This oneness is what I call integrity, not the integrity of the moralists, which is just another name for a well-decorated prison. I mean the integrity of a person who is no longer in conflict with himself. When your yes is a total yes and your no is a total no, you have integrity. When you can say, I want this, without any hidden but, your manifestation has the power of a thunderbolt. But look at your desires. They are full of buts. I want money, but I don't want to work hard. I want a partner, but I want to keep my freedom. I want to be spiritual, but I want to be famous. These buts are the cracks in your mirror. They dissipate your energy. To manifest without trying, you must be wholehearted. Whatever you do, do it with your whole being. If you are going to be a sinner, be a wholehearted sinner. Even that is better than being a half-hearted saint. At least the sinner has a chance of becoming a wholehearted saint one day. But the half-hearted person will always be a ghost, hovering between two worlds and belonging to neither. This wholeheartedness is a form of relaxation. When you are not divided, there is no friction. When there is no friction, there is no heat. When there is no heat, you are cool and silent. And in that silence, you are in tune with the ancient wisdom. The ancient wisdom is not a collection of old sayings. It is the intelligence of life itself. Life knows how to manifest. It has been doing it for billions of years. It manifests stars out of nothingness. It manifests life out of dust. It manifests consciousness out of life. You are a part of this magnificent process. But you have separated yourself. You think you are an independent contractor who has to negotiate with the universe. You are not. You are a cell in the body of existence. If a cell in your body starts trying to manifest its own blood supply independently of the heart, it becomes a cancer. It becomes a problem for the whole body. This is what the ego is. It is a cancerous growth in the consciousness. It thinks it can survive and thrive on its own at the expense of the whole. But the secret is, the more you belong to the whole, the more the whole takes care of you. The technique of relax in action means acting as a part of the whole. It means saying, Thy will be done. This is not an act of weakness. It is the greatest act of intelligence. It is like a drop of water joining the ocean. Does the drop lose its power? No, it becomes the ocean. It now has the power of the tides, the power of the storms, the depths of the abyss. As long as the drop tries to manifest its own little puddle, it is destined to evaporate. But when it disappears into the ocean, it becomes eternal. To manifest anything, you must become nothing. This is the ultimate secret technique. When you are nothing, you are empty. And when you are empty, the whole of existence can rush into you. You become a vehicle for the divine manifest power. Think about the air. The air moves into any space that is empty. It doesn't have to be invited. It doesn't have to try. If you create a vacuum, the air rushes in with tremendous force. Your emptiness is a spiritual vacuum. If you can truly empty yourself of your ego, your plans, and your trying, the abundance of the universe will rush in to fill the space. It is a law of spiritual physics. But you are so afraid of being empty. You fill your life with noise, with gadgets, with relationships that don't mean anything, with knowledge that is just a burden. You are afraid that if you are empty, you will be nothing. And I am telling you, being nothing is the beginning of being everything. In the Book of Secrets, Shiva says, feel my thought, my faculty, my energy, all these are not mine. This is a beautiful meditation. Practice it while you are working. When a great idea comes to you, don't say, I am a genius. Say, the universe just sent an idea through me. When you have a lot of energy, don't say, I am strong. Say, the universal energy is flowing through this body. When you manifest something beautiful, don't say, I did it. Say, it happened through the grace of the whole. When you drop the mind, you drop the ego. And when the ego is gone, the trying is gone. You are still acting, perhaps more than ever, but there is no actor. There is just the action. This is what it means to manifest without trying. The trying is the ego's attempt to take credit. When there is no one to take credit, there is no tension. You are just a channel. Look at a tree in the spring. It is manifesting thousands of leaves. Is it trying? Is it working hard? No, it is just happening. The sap is rising, the sun is shining, the earth is giving nourishment. The tree is simply the place where all these forces meet to create leaves. You should be the place where the forces of the universe meet to create wealth, to create love, to create beauty. But you are blocking the sap. You are standing in your own way. You are like a person who is trying to push a car while they are still sitting inside it with their foot on the brake. Release the brake. The brake is your self-consciousness. The brake is your fear of failure. The brake is your intellect, trying to figure out every step of the way. The intellect is a great barrier because it can only move in a straight line. But life moves in circles, in spirals. Manifestation is not a linear process. Sometimes you have to go backward to go forward. Sometimes you have to lose something to gain something much greater. The intellect cannot understand this. It gets frustrated. It says this isn't working and it gives up. But the heart knows. The heart has its own ancient wisdom. The heart understands that everything has its season. There is a time for planting and there is a time for waiting. There is a time for silence and there is a time for manifestation. If you are in tune with your heart, you will know when to act and when to remain still. You will know when to push and when to let go. This knowing is not information, it is intuition. It is the whisper of the divine in your ear. If you can learn to trust this whisper, you will never go wrong. Even if the whole world says you are crazy, stay with your whisper. The world is made of people who are living on the rim of the wheel. They don't know the center. They are living in the fame game, trying to impress each other. They are like blind people leading other blind people. Don't listen to them. Listen to the silence within you. This silence is the most secret technique. In the silence, the seed of your manifestation is safe. In the silence, it can grow without being disturbed by the opinions of others or the doubts of your own mind. Protect your silence, nourish it, spend time every day doing nothing, just sitting, just being. This wasting time is actually the most productive thing you can do. It is the time when you are recentering yourself. When you are centered, your life becomes a creative act. Every word you speak, every gesture you make, every thought you think becomes a manifestation of your inner beauty. You don't have to manifest anything specific because your whole life is a manifestation. You are the masterpiece. And once you realize that you are the masterpiece, the things of the world lose their grip on you. You can have them or you cannot have them. It doesn't matter. Your joy is no longer dependent on the manifestation. And this, my beloved ones, is the ultimate secret. The moment you are truly happy without the thing appears. Because now you are a master. Now you are a king. And the universe loves to serve a king. A beggar is always asking, and because he is asking, he remains a beggar. A king is always giving, and because he is giving, he remains a king. Start giving your silence, giving your joy, giving your love to the world. Don't wait to have enough before you give. Give what you have now. If you have only a smile, give it. If you have only a kind word, give it. In the act of giving, you are declaring to the universe, I have plenty. And the universe says, yes, you have plenty, and it gives you more. This is the art of money, the art of love, the art of life. It is all the same art. It is the art of effortless manifestation. It is the art of being a child of the universe, trusting that your mother and father, the existence, will provide everything you need for your growth and your celebration. So drop the trying, drop the fever, drop the ego, just be. Find that gap between the breaths. Find that space between the thoughts. Find that center in the middle of the wheel, and then just watch the magic happen. The whole of existence is waiting to shower you with its treasures. The only question is, are you ready to receive them? This readiness to receive is not a passive state. It is a highly alert, highly sensitive state of being. In the world of tantra, this is called vigilance. You are like a hunter in the forest, waiting for the prey. You are not doing anything, but every fiber of your being is alive. Every sense is sharp. If you are asleep, the manifestation will pass you by. If you are too busy with your thoughts, you will miss the knock at the door. You must be present. You must be here now. The intellect often confuses being with laziness. It thinks that if you are not trying, you are just sitting around doing nothing. But I tell you, meditation is the most active thing you can do. It requires more energy than any business deal or any physical labor. To stay centered while the storm of the mind is blowing, that is true strength. To remain a witness while the ego is screaming for attention, that is true power. And it is from this power that the ability to manifest anything arises. Let us look deeper into the technique of the third eye. Shiva says that when you are centered at the point between the eyebrows, you become the master of the elements. What does this mean in modern terms? It means that you are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are no longer pushed around by the weather of the world. You have found the control room of your own reality. From the third eye, you can see the blueprint of your life. And when you can see the blueprint, you can change it. But you cannot reach the third eye through effort. If you try to focus on the third eye, you will only get a headache. The tension of trying creates a blockage. You must fall into the center. You must relax so deeply that your energy naturally rises to that point. It is like water. If you leave it alone, it becomes still. And when it is still, it reflects the moon. Your energy is the water. Your trying is the wind that creates ripples. Stop the wind and the reflection appears by itself. In my book on creativity, I discuss the obstacle of belief. Many of you are trying to manifest through belief systems. You follow certain laws of attraction as if they are religious dogmas. But a belief is always a cover-up for ignorance. If you believe, you don't know. And if you don't know, you cannot manifest with authority. You are just gambling. You are hoping that if you repeat a mantra enough times, the universe will take pity on you. The universe does not have pity. The universe has laws. And the law of manifestation is that which you are, you attract. It is not what you want that manifests, it is what you are. If you are a person of silence, you attract silence. If you are a person of joy, you attract joy. If you are a person of abundance, you attract abundance. This is why the secret technique is not about getting things, but about transforming yourself. Once you are transformed, you don't even have to think about manifestation. It becomes your shadow. You walk and the shadow follows. You sit and the shadow sits. You don't have to worry about whether your shadow is following you or not. It is part of your existence. This is the state of a master. A master doesn't manifest things. Things manifest around the master. His very presence creates a field of possibility. Think about the art of money again. Osho's vision of wealth is not about hoarding. Hoarding is a sign of fear. It is a sign that you think the supply is limited. But a creative person knows that the supply is infinite. If you can create $1 million today, you can create another million tomorrow. Why hoard? A river doesn't hoard its water, it flows. And because it flows, it stays fresh. The moment a river stops flowing, it becomes a stagnant pool. If you want to manifest wealth, become a river. Let the money flow through you. Use it for creativity. Use it for beauty. Use it for celebration. When the universe sees that you are a good distributor of its wealth, it will send more your way. You become a trusted partner of existence. But if you try to grab and hold, you are telling the universe that you don't trust it. And the universe responds to that lack of trust by cutting off the supply. This is the ancient wisdom that has been forgotten in our modern competitive world. We have been taught that we must get ahead, that we must beat the competition, that we must climb the ladder. But in the spiritual world, there is no ladder. There is only the now. And in the now, you are already at the top. You are already the center of the universe. Shiva gives a technique in the Book of Secrets. Focus on the fire rising through your form from the toes up until the body burns to ashes, but not you. This is a meditation on impermanence. Why is this important for manifestation? Because as long as you are attached to your body and your ego, you are limited. You are afraid of loss. And fear of loss is the greatest barrier to gain. When you burn your ego in the fire of awareness, you realize that you are the eternal witness. And once you know you are eternal, you are no longer afraid of anything. You can play with the world of manifestation like a game, because you know that whether you win or lose, your essential being remains untouched. This detachment is the secret of the relaxed manifester. He wants, but he is not needy. He acts, but he is not feverish. He achieves, but he is not proud. He is like a master actor on a stage. He plays the role of the king perfectly. He manifests the kingdom. He commands the armies, but inside he knows he is just an actor. When the play is over, he goes home and sleeps soundly. He doesn't take the manifestation too seriously. And this is the irony. The less seriously you take it, the more easily it happens. Seriousness is a heavy energy. It creates a thickness in the atmosphere that prevents the light from traveling. Lightness is the energy of the divine. Gods are always depicted as dancing or playing. Have you ever seen a serious god? Only the man-made gods are serious, because they are reflections of man's own ego and fear. The true divine is a celebration. To manifest anything, you must join this celebration. You must become a dancer. You must see your life not as a problem to be solved, but as a song to be sung. When you are in the song, you are in harmony with nature. and nature is the source of all abundance. Look at the trees, the birds, the stars. Do they look worried? Do they look like they are trying to manifest their survival? No. They are just being. And in their just being, everything is provided. The intellect will say, "But I am not a bird. I have bills to pay. I have a family to support." This is the voice of your conditioning. You are much more than a bird, which means the universe is even more committed to your flowering. But you have blocked the channel with your doing. You have taken the whole responsibility on your own small shoulders. No wonder you are tired. No wonder you feel like you are failing. I am telling you to share the responsibility with the whole. I am telling you to find that middle point where you and the universe meet. In that point, the work is done through you, not by you. This is the essence of creativity. A creative person is a medium. Whether you are creating a painting, a business, or a new life, let the great Creator work through you. The secret technique of centering is the way to open this channel. Every day, find a few moments to move your attention from the objects of your desire to the subject, to the one who is desiring. Look at the desirer. Who is he? Where is he? As you look at the desirer, the desire disappears. And in that disappearance, you are left with pure desire, the energy itself, without an object. This pure desire is the power of the universe. It is the same energy that creates stars. When you hold this energy in your center, without letting it leak out through the ego's wanting, it becomes a massive force. It becomes the seed that the Devi asks about. This seed, when planted in the soil of your silence, will manifest anything that is in alignment with your soul's growth. Remember, the universe will not manifest things that are harmful to your consciousness, even if your ego wants them. Sometimes the failure to manifest is the universe's greatest gift to you. It is protecting you from your own small mind. Trust this. Trust that what is coming is what is needed. Trust that what is going is what is no longer necessary. In this trust, there is a great peace, and from this peace, the highest form of manifestation occurs. The ancient wisdom is simple, but the mind makes it complicated. The mind loves complexity because it gives the intellect something to do. But I am here to tell you, be simple, be silent, be centered, This is the most secret technique. It is so secret that it is hidden in plain sight, in your own breath, in the gaps between your thoughts. You don't have to go to the Himalayas to find it. You don't have to pay a guru to give it to you. It is your birthright. As we continue this journey, I want you to feel the expansion of your heart. Feel that you are no longer a small separate ego trying to survive in a hostile world. You are a beloved child of the existence. You are a manifestation of the divine. And the divine wants nothing more than for you to bloom in all your glory. Let the petals of your soul open. Let the fragrance of your being spread, and let the world be enriched by your presence. Everything else, the money, the fame, the relationships, is just the packaging. Don't get lost in the packaging. Look at the gift inside. The gift is life itself. And when you are in love with life, life manifests everything you need to celebrate that love. This is the ultimate law. This is the final secret. Stay with this silence. Stay with this vibration. In the next part, we will discuss how to maintain this state in the marketplace, how to be in the world but not of it, so that your manifestation power remains constant no matter what is happening on the outside. We will look at the fame game and how to transcend the need for approval so that your creativity is truly free. The journey into the book of secrets and the alchemy of creativity is deepening. Let the words wash over you like a cool rain. Don't try to remember them. Just let them sink into your heart. The heart remembers what the head forgets, and it is the heart that manifests. So let us descend deeper into the heart, away from the marketplace, where the fame game is played. This is one of the most subtle and dangerous obstacles to your creativity and your power to manifest. The fame game is the desire to be known, to be recognized, to be somebody in the eyes of others. But have you ever realized that the other is just as lost as you are? Why do you need the validation of people who don't even know themselves? When you manifest for fame, you are not creating, you are performing. And a performer is always a slave to the audience. If they clap, you are happy. If they hiss, you are miserable. You have given the keys to your happiness into the hands of others. This is a very poor way to live. A creator, a true manifester, is a rebel. He doesn't care if the world recognizes him or not. His joy is in the act itself. If the world appreciates it, that is their good fortune. If they don't, it is their loss. The creator remains untouched. In my book on creativity, I say that the creator cannot follow the path of the crowd. The crowd is uncreative. It is mechanical. It lives a life of repetition. If you want to manifest something truly new, you must be an individual. And to be an individual, you must drop the need for approval. This is the secret technique of the rebels. They are self-contained. Their center is within themselves, not in the gossip of the neighbors or the numbers in a bank account. The intellect will tell you that fame brings power and power helps you manifest. This is a lie. Fame brings only a burden of image. You have to keep up the appearance. You have to be the person the world thinks you are. You lose your freedom to change, to grow, to be unpredictable. And unpredictability is the very essence of life. To manifest anything, you must be free to move in any direction the universe calls you. If you are tied to an image, you are stuck. Look at the flowers. Does the rose try to be famous? It just blooms. Its fragrance spreads because it is its nature to spread. Some people might smell it and feel blessed. Others might walk past and not notice. The rose doesn't care. It is not trying to be a great flower. It is a great flower. This is the difference. When you are, the manifestation is natural. When you try to be, you are in the fame game. Let's go back to the Book of Secrets. Shiva gives a technique for this. In the middle of any activity, stop for a second and just be. If you are talking, stop in the middle of a sentence. If you are walking, stop with one foot in the air. In that sudden stop, the mind is shocked. The momentum of the doer is broken. In that gap, you can see the witness. This witness is the one who is not interested in fame, not interested in money, not interested in anything other than the pure joy of existence. Once you have found this witness, you can go back into the world and play the fame game if you want, but as a game. You can be a businessman, you can be a politician, you can be a movie star, but inside you are laughing. You know it's just a costume. You are not trying to manifest success. Success is happening as a part of the play. This is what it means to be relaxed in action. You are doing everything, but you are not the doer. The doer is the ego, and the ego is always tired. The non-doer is the soul, and the soul is infinite energy. I want you to understand the art of money from this perspective. Money is a medium of exchange, a form of social energy. If you have a great idea, if you have a great product, if you have a great service, why shouldn't you have money? Money is the applause of the universe for your creativity. But the moment you start working for the money, you have lost the creativity. You have become a servant. Work for the joy of it. Build your business because it is a beautiful thing to build. Paint your picture because the colors demand to be on the canvas. Love your partner because your heart is overflowing. And then let the money come. Let it flow. Don't be afraid of it, and don't be attached to it. If you have it, use it to create more beauty. If you don't have it, be a king of your own silence. This is the ancient wisdom of the masters who lived in palaces and the masters who lived in caves. They were all equally rich because their wealth was not in things but in their being. The fourth key I mentioned is to be a dreamer. But not a dreamer in the sense of a person who is escaping reality. Be a dreamer who has the courage to see a new reality before it exists. Your imagination is a divine faculty. It is the bridge between the unmanifest and the manifest. But your imagination must be fueled by your centering. If it is fueled by your ego, it is just a daydream. If it is fueled by your silence, it is a vision. A vision has its own power to manifest. When you have a vision, you don't have to try to make it happen. The vision itself starts drawing the necessary people, the necessary resources, the necessary circumstances toward you. You become a magnet of vision. This is how great things are built. This is how a Buddha field is created. It is not through planning, it is through radiating. To radiate your vision, you must be ready to learn. This is the second key. Most of you think you already know everything. You are so full of your own opinions that there is no room for the new to enter. To be ready to learn means to be humble. It means to realize that existence is much bigger than your small mind. Every moment is a teacher. The tree is a teacher, the cloud is a teacher, the enemy is a teacher. If you are open, the secret technique is being taught to you every single second. Shiva says, feel the presence of the beloved in all things. This is a manifestation technique of the highest order. If you can feel the divine, the beloved in the person you are talking to, in the food you are eating, in the work you are doing, then you are in a state of constant prayer. And in that state, your vibration is so high that you are in total harmony with the creative force of the universe. You are no longer trying to manifest, you are participating in the manifestation of the divine. Look at your problems. You think they are obstacles to your manifestation. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I have too many responsibilities. These are not obstacles. They are the raw material for your creativity. In creativity, I talk about relaxing in action. If you have a lot of work, relax into the work. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. The resistance is what makes you tired, not the work. If you accept the work totally, it becomes a dance, and a dancer is never exhausted. This is the shift you must make. Move from the why to the how. Don't ask why you have these problems. Ask, how can I be creative with these problems? How can I use this situation to grow? How can I find nirvana in the ordinary? If you are washing dishes, can you find the Buddha in the soap bubbles? Can you find the silence in the clinking of the plates? If you can, then you are a master of manifestation. Because if you can manifest peace while washing dishes, you can manifest anything. The quality is the same. The mind wants quantity. It wants more dishes, more money, more fame. The soul wants quality. It wants more presence, more awareness, more love. If you focus on the quality, the quantity takes care of itself. This is the fundamental law of the Book of Secrets. You change the inner, and the outer reflects the change. I want you to try a specific technique tonight before you go to sleep. Lie down and feel your body becoming heavy. Then feel your body becoming light as a feather. Then feel your body disappearing altogether. There is only a vast space. In that space, put the seed of what you want to manifest. Don't put a picture, put a feeling. If you want health, feel the energy vibrating in every cell of that empty space. If you want abundance, feel the sense of enoughness pervading the void. and then fall asleep in that feeling. When you fall asleep in a certain state of consciousness, that state works on your subconscious all night long. It is like a seed growing in the dark of the earth. By the morning, you will find that you are more in tune with your intent. You will find that you are naturally doing the things that lead to your manifestation. You are not trying, you are flowing. This is the ancient wisdom that has been kept secret, not because anyone wanted to hide it, but because it can only be understood by those who are ready to drop their ego. It is a secret that is protected by your own unconsciousness. The moment you become conscious, the secret is revealed. It is like the sun rising. It doesn't try to reveal the world. The world is simply revealed when the light appears. So, my beloved ones, be the light. Don't be a seeker. Be a finder. Don't be a doer. Be a witness. Stop playing the fame game and start living the life game. The universe is not a marketplace, it is a temple. Enter it with reverence, enter it with silence, and enter it with His song. Everything you have ever dreamed of is already yours, waiting for you to stop trying so that you can finally receive. This silence is not a commodity that you can only find in a temple or a cave. If your silence depends on the absence of noise, it is not true silence. It is just a temporary lull in the storm. True silence is that which remains undisturbed even in the middle of a marketplace. This is where your manifestation power is truly tested. Anyone can feel like a god while sitting on a mountain top. But can you feel like a god while standing in a crowded subway or while arguing with your boss? If you can, then you have mastered the secret. In the Vigilance Tantra, Shiva gives techniques specifically for the marketplace of life. He says, while in the world, be as if you are dreaming. This does not mean you become irresponsible. It means you change the quality of your involvement. When you are dreaming at night, the dream feels absolutely real. You feel the fear, the joy, the struggle. But the moment you wake up, you realize it was just a play of consciousness. Shiva is saying, wake up while you are still in the dream of life. When you look at your business, your bank account, your house, or your reputation through the eyes of a waking dreamer, the tension disappears. You still do what is needed. You sign the contracts, you make the calls, you plant the seeds, but you do it with a certain lightness, You are in the world, but not of it. This detachment is the highest frequency for manifestation. Why? Because when you are detached, you are not afraid of losing. And as I have told you, the fear of loss is a frequency of lack. When you are not afraid of losing, you are vibrating at the frequency of eternal abundance. This is the ancient wisdom that helps you manifest without trying. The trying always comes from a place of desperation. You are trying to make something happen because you are afraid it won't happen. That fear is a signal to the universe that you don't trust the process. But when you are in the state of the waking dreamer, you trust the play. You know that the script is being written by the whole. And you are both the actor and the witness. Most of you are waiting for the perfect conditions to start your manifestation. You think once I am less stressed, then I will meditate. Once I have more money, then I will be creative. You are putting the cart before the horse. The conditions will never be perfect because the world is inherently chaotic. The ordinary is all you have. If you cannot find nirvana in the ordinary, as I discuss in my book on creativity, you will never find it at all. Nirvana is not a place, it is a way of looking at the ordinary. To manifest wealth, you must find the wealth in a single leaf, in a glass of water, in the breath you are taking right now. If you can feel the immense richness of this moment, you have already manifested. The physical wealth is then just a materialization of that inner feeling. It is like the condensation of a steam into water. Your inner state is the steam, invisible but powerful. The outer reality is the water, visible and tangible. But the essence is the same. If you find yourself getting caught up in the fame game or the comparison game while you are in the world, stop. Use the technique of centering immediately. In the middle of the street, feel your center. Feel that unmoving point within you that is older than the stars and newer than this very second. From that center, look at the tall buildings, the expensive cars, the people rushing by. See them as shadows on a screen. They are real in their own way, but they are not the reality. The reality is the one who is seen. When you shift your focus back to the seer, you are reclaiming your power. You are no longer a victim of the quantity of the world. You are the master of the quality of your awareness. And it is the quality that determines the manifestation. A person who is centered can manifest more with one single thought than a person who is scattered can manifest with a lifetime of hard labor. This is the secret technique that the elite and the successful often use unconsciously, but which the tantric masters use with total awareness. Let us speak about intuition. Intuition is the language of the center. The intellect moves in steps 1, 2, 3. Intuition is a leap. It is a direct knowing. When you are relaxed in action, your intuition begins to function. You know which door to knock on. You know which person to trust. You know when to wait and when to move. This is not logic, it is vibration. You are sensing the currents of existence and you are moving with them. This is what it means to be a medium. You are not the one who is calculating the manifestation. You are the one who is receiving the instructions from the whole. This requires a deep, ready-to-learn attitude. You must be willing to drop your prejudices about how things should happen. Existence often takes the long way around, and it often uses the most unexpected channels. If you are fixed in your mind, you will miss the opportunity. If you are open, every moment is an opportunity. In the Book of Secrets, Shiva says, "As a bird flies and leaves no trace, so let your actions be." This is a beautiful metaphor for manifestors. Act, create, build, manifest, but don't let it leave a trace on your soul. Don't let it become a burden. Don't let it become an ego trip. If you can manifest a kingdom and remain as light as a bird, you are a true master. If the manifestation of a small house makes you heavy with worry and pride, then you are a slave to your own creation. The art of money is precisely this: to be able to play with millions as if they are pebbles on a beach. If the pebbles are there, you play with them. If the tide takes them away, you watch the tide. This non-attachment is not poverty. It is the ultimate affluence. Because an affluent person is one who is not possessed by his possessions. He is the master. And the universe loves to give to a master who doesn't clutch. I want you to look at your creativity as a form of harmony with nature. Nature is never stagnant. It is always transforming. To manifest anything, you must be willing to transform everything in your life. You cannot keep your old habits, your old fears, and your old ways of thinking and expect a new reality. The old must die for the new to be born. This is the alchemy. You are the lead, and you are being turned into gold. But the lead must be willing to melt. The melting process is what you call crisis. When your manifestation isn't happening, or when things seem to be going wrong, don't panic. The melting is necessary. The old structures of your life are being broken down so that a new, more beautiful structure can emerge. If you resist the melting, you stay as lead. If you relax into it, you become gold. This is tathata, total acceptance. Say yes to the melting. Say yes to the chaos. For out of chaos, stars are born. As you go about your day in the world, keep this secret technique in your heart. I am the center. I am the witness. Everything else is a divine play. This is not a mantra to repeat. It is a reality to feel. When you feel it, your very gait changes. Your eyes have a different depth. Your voice has a different resonance. You are no longer trying to impress anyone. You are no longer trying to get anywhere. You have arrived. And the miracle is this: when you have arrived, everything you ever wanted starts catching up to you. It is as if you were running away from your own blessings by trying to find them. Stop running. Stand still. Be centered and let the abundance of the universe find you. It has been looking for you for lifetimes, but you were always too busy, too scattered, too noisy to be found. Be the hollow bamboo even in the middle of a business meeting. Be the clear mirror even while you are dealing with difficult people. Be the centered wheel even while the world is spinning in madness. This is the ancient wisdom made practical. This is the secret technique that changes not just your bank account, but your very soul. We are coming to the final stages of our exploration of the Book of Secrets and the Alchemy of Creativity. But remember, there is no final. Life is an eternal beginning. Every moment is a new chance to manifest your highest potential. Don't look back at your failures. They were just lessons in the dream. Don't look forward to your successes with fever. They are just toys in the play. Stay in the now, stay in the center, and let the divine Creator manifest through you in ways that will surprise even you. You are a wonder-filled universe yourself. As the Devi asks, what constitutes seed? Who centers the universal wheel? You now know the answer. You are the seed, and you are the one who centers the wheel. Everything you see outside is just a reflection of what you are holding inside. If you want a beautiful world, hold beauty. If you want a rich world, hold richness. If you want a loving world, hold love. The technique is simple. Be. Just be. And in that being, the doing happens and the having follows. This is the manifestation without trying that I have been pointing towards. It is the path of the Buddhas, the path of the Tantrikas, the path of the true creators. Walk this path with a smile. Walk it with a dance, and know that you are never alone. The entire existence is dancing with you. In the next and final part of our talk, we will summarize the essence, and I will give you a final blessing for your journey. We will look at how to ensure this light never goes out. How to make your life a chain reaction of consciousness. As I mentioned at the end of the Book of Secrets, stay in this vibration, my beloveds. The silence is deepening, and the manifestation is already beginning in the invisible. And now, my beloved ones, we come to the most profound realization of all. The point where the manifestation of things ends and the manifestation of God begins. In the final pages of the Book of Secrets, there is a beautiful emphasis on the inner flame. This is the goal of all 112 techniques. Once you have attained your inner flame, everything else is just a consequence. You see, most people are trying to manifest from a state of darkness. They are like people trying to decorate a room while it is pitch black. They bump into the furniture, they break the vases, they trip over their own feet, and then they wonder why their manifestation is a mess. I tell you, first light the candle. Once the room is full of light, the decoration happens naturally. You don't even have to try to see where the flowers should go. You simply see. This inner flame is your consciousness. When you are centered, when you are a witness, when you are in the gap, the flame is lit. And here is the miracle. Once your light is lit, it becomes a chain reaction. This is a secret that the Buddhas have known for eternity. Your light kindles the light of others. Your abundance triggers the abundance of the universe. You are no longer a solitary candle struggling against the wind. You become a sun that creates its own weather. But to become this sun, you must be selfish. Yes, I use this word deliberately. In the marketplace, selfishness is seen as a sin. But in the world of tantra, it is the only way to become selfless. If you do not have your own light, how can you share it? If you are a beggar inside, how can you give to the world? Most of your help for others is just a way to escape your own inner poverty. You are trying to manifest a better world because you cannot manifest a better you. Drop this madness of helping others. Help yourself. Find your own center. Attain your own bliss. Become so full of joy that you cannot contain it. That is when true manifestation begins. When you are overflowing, you don't have to try to help. Your very existence is a blessing. When you are a source of light, things start happening. People will share your light. People will be enlightened through you. And abundance will flow to you because you have become a luminous point in the universe. In creativity, I talk about nirvana in the ordinary. This is the final key. Many of you are waiting for a big manifestation, $1 million, a soulmate, a world-famous career. But life is made of small moments. If you cannot manifest a heavenly cup of tea, you will never manifest a heavenly life. The quality of your life is the quality of your now. If you are washing your hands, wash them as if you are washing the hands of God. If you are looking at a tree, look at it as if it is the first time you have ever seen a tree. This wonder-filled state is what the Devi asked about at the very beginning of the Book of Secrets. She asks, what is this wonder-filled universe? To see the wonder, you must be wonderful. To manifest the extraordinary, you must find the extraordinary in the mundane. This is the secret technique that transcends all other techniques. Living as a meditation. Not just sitting for 20 minutes and then going back to being a doer, but staying in the state of happening all day long. When you are in this state, you are above space and time, names and descriptions. You are in the dimension of the life beyond form. The intellect will struggle with this. It wants a to-do list. It wants 5 steps to manifestation. I have given you many techniques. The third eye, the heart center, the void, the turning point of the breath. But these are all just doors. The room is your own being. Once you are in the room, you can throw away the keys. You don't need the technique once you have the reality. Think about the art of money one last time. Why do you want it? For security? For power? These are ego needs. True wealth is the ability to live abundantly, and abundance is a state of mind. A person who can enjoy a sunset with the same intensity as a billionaire enjoys his yacht is in that moment wealthier than the billionaire. Because the billionaire is often thinking about his taxes or his competitors, while the person with the sunset is one with the whole. When you manifest from this state of oneness, the universe becomes your bank account. You don't have to hold anything because you have access to everything. This is the secret of the hollow bamboo. The bamboo doesn't hold the music, it lets the music pass through. When you are hollow, the universal music of abundance passes through you and manifests as your daily life. I see many of you are afraid of postpartum depression after a success. You manifest your dream and then you feel empty. This is because you were trying to reach a goal. And once the goal is reached, the mind has nowhere to go. But if you manifest as a dance, there is no goal. The dance is its own reward. Every step is the destination. In this state, there is no depression, only a continuous flowering. Let the chain reaction of your consciousness begin today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the mind's way of avoiding the present. Start right now. Feel the silence between my words. Feel the vibration in your own heart. You are the seed of a new humanity. You are the one who centers the universal wheel. The techniques of the Vigilance Bhairav Tantra are not old, they are eternal. They are as relevant today as they were 5,000 years ago. Because the human heart hasn't changed, the ego hasn't changed, and the source hasn't changed. You are still that same divine energy, just playing a game of hide and seek with yourself. I am here to tell you the game is over. You can stop hiding. You have been found. As you move back into the world, carry this fragrance of freedom with you. Be a dreamer who acts. Be a child who learns. Be a sage who plays. Don't take your manifestation too seriously. It is just a play of light and shadow on the screen of consciousness. The screen is what matters. The screen is you. May your life become a manifestation of grace. May your path be lit by your own inner flame. And may you realize in this very moment that you are already everything you have ever wanted to be. There is nothing to achieve, only everything to celebrate. Go into the world and be a luminous presence. Let your silence speak. Let your joy radiate. and watch how the ancient wisdom transforms your reality into a wonder-filled universe. This is my blessing to you. The secret is out. You are the master of your own destiny, the creator of your own world, and the beloved of the existence. Just be. And in that being, let the everything follow. As we prepare to close this particular chapter of our dialogue, remember that the silence we have shared is more important than the words I have spoken. But in this world of forms, we must also build bridges. If these insights have struck a chord in your heart, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you are not merely following a person, but joining a global caravan of seekers who are tired of the old ways and are ready to manifest a new consciousness. If you feel that this message could light a candle in the life of a friend or a loved one, please share this video. In the world of energy, giving is receiving. When you share truth, your own understanding deepens. And I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Share your experiences with the gap, your struggles with the trying, or simply a word of your presence. Every comment helps this energy field grow and reach more souls who are still wandering in the dark. For those of you who feel a deeper call to support this work and ensure that these teachings continue to flow freely across the earth, I invite you to look at the join button. Becoming a member of our community is a beautiful way to participate in the art of giving. If a particular insight today felt like a gift to your soul, you may also use super thanks to make a direct contribution. These gestures are not about money, they are about energy exchange. They allow us to keep this flame burning bright for everyone. And if you wish to carry these secrets with you, to study them in the quiet hours of your own home, we have made our ebooks available for you. These are not just books, they are maps for your inner journey, designed to help you practice the art of relaxed in action every single day. You can find the links to our ebooks in the description below. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your silence. Now go into the world as a light unto yourself. Don't try to change the world, just manifest your own beauty. And the world will be changed by your very existence. I leave you in the hands of the whole. Goodbye, and may your life be a continuous celebration.